We are in Florence and we're going for a pasta making course this morning.
Because latte macchiato is one glass of milk.
Yeah, so I discovered the difference between latte macchiato, macchiato latte, macchiato, double espresso, macchiato, macchiato espresso. It's all different.
So what are you having?
A latte.
Just say latte.
They just called it latte today. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
So we're in Cappellaccio. Il y a une poche pour l'internet?
Non, mais sur ta tête.
Please.
Is any flour?
It's 00 wheat flour. Okay. It's the most refined type of flour. And the reason we use it is because it's the easiest to work with. You have a
Sorry.
No, a little bit of The thing is, you put too much flour in it.
Yeah,
too much.
I'm sure that because
It's getting dry.
it
Yes.
looks like bread now.
So I'll give you a tip. A good idea is to sort of hold it and then
Stretch it.
stretch.
So you don't let the dough rest before using it?
No, because there's no leavening. There's no.
En géométrie. Comme je copie.
Tu vois ce que c'est maintenant de
C'est
cuisiner?
chiant. Est-ce qu'on va au bar?
Easy cheese to work with. It's very soft. Let's say the easy, basic one is you put the filling in the center, and you take your glue, and you just slightly wet the edges. Don't make it too wet because if not, it will become soggy. And then you fold it on itself like this. So maybe I put a little bit too much, you see? And then you sort of make it airtight. It's like a little dumpling.
Yeah,
exactly.
so
cute.
Okay?
Yeah, I understand.
So this is the basic raviolo. And then I'll teach you the other way, which is the one you usually find in restaurants. So you put, in this case you can put a little bit more filling because you're going to use 2 squares, okay? You go like this and then you put a second square on top. And it's important that it's airtight because if not your filling will squirt out in the boiling water.
Does the cooking time change for either?
No, basically it's a little bit like gnocchi. They will rise. Okay, the gnocchis actually float all the way to the surface. These will just slightly rise. Okay, so it's 2-3 minutes maximum. They cook very quickly. Okay, and I have a feeling that this is the reason why you get these at restaurants is because it's easy to fill a plate with 6 of these. If you use these, you need 20. So it's fancy. It's all marketing basically. So very important, Crystal. I went to Poland once in 91.
Oh,
A long time. And I
quite
went
a long time.
to Krakow to see a friend, and then
Yeah, but now everything is
different. I can
different.
imagine, yes. And then went to Gdańsk And when you use harder cheese, like a seasoned cheese, it doesn't generally melt very well. It will become like solid on one side and oil on the other. But if you grate it and mix it with the ricotta, which is what I did here, then it melts very nicely. Okay? So the second filling we're going to use is very similar to the first. It still has ricotta with pecorino, but it has a little bit of nutmeg instead of the truffle oil. So it changes completely the flavor with just a little detail, okay? But when you make your fillings at home, be creative, open your fridge, see what you have. You have carrots, make carrots. You have, I don't know, ham or meat or, you understand? And when you make ravioli or cappellacci, the flavor is inside the pasta. So on top you don't need to make a very elaborate sauce. You can just, for example, we're going to use butter and sage, just so they give them a little extra, and so they're not dry. You know, it's hat, but it means the ugly hat, il cappellaccio. Everything that's accio is nasty, ugly. And there's a reason for this. It's because this is a typical pasta from Bologna, from the Emilia-Romagna, and back in the day, they were at war with the Papal States. Before Italy was one single country, Europe was basically divided at the time between the Guelphs and the Ghibellines. Those who supported the Pope, not only as a spiritual authority, but also as a terrestrial, let's say, a political authority. And those instead who supported the Holy Roman Emperor, who was not in Rome, to confuse things, but was normally in Germany, basically, or Austria, or in France at some time, like Charlemagne was one of these. So anyway, everybody was Catholic because it was before the Protestants, but they were divided politically, so there was a sort of civil war going on. And in Bologna they were strongly anti-papist, even if they were good Catholics, because the Pope wanted to take over Bologna. So when they saw this Cappellaccio, they saw the shape, they saw the pasta, they said, il Cappellaccio, because it reminded them of the Pope's hat. But in some regions in Italy, it's called cappelletto, which means the nice hat. Okay? So still today, you can tell which side they were on. Because you know what happens? Then the belly slits open. You can try and see, and then figure out the right amount. It has to be enough that it's tasty, but not too much that it bursts open. Yeah. So you have to figure out the right amount. What are you doing?
Very ugly hat.
No, very nice. Once all the tagliatelle are inside the chitarra,
Here you go.
we're gonna. Yes.
This water with olive oil? Oh, this butter and sage.
I recommend starting with the ravioli and the cappellacci because they can get harder, and also because the taste.
For course of how to make pasta, it was great and Nico even bought a bottle of wine because they produce their own organic wine. I do recommend you to have at least one course of making pasta because you are able after to meet with locals and of course share a bit of the local culture as well, which is very important when you travel.